Hello, first grade. My name is Mrs. Dunn, and I'm the math coach at Lincoln Elementary School. I'm happy to be with you today to do some math talk. We are going to use one of my favorite tools and a tool that I know my math friends love so much, the 100 bead rack. We are going to use this tool to build some numbers, identify some numbers, and then think about 10 more and 10 less than a number. And I will need your help. So if I ask you to tell me what number you see, I want you to go ahead and tell me, even though I can't hear you. Here we go. Let's get started with identifying some numbers. So I'm going to push some beads across my bead rack. And as I'm building this number, I want you to think about what you see. Okay, so we're paying attention to these beads over here, the ones that I pushed across my bead rack. I want you to think about the number that you see and tell me when you know that number. Great, I heard 36. So I'm wondering if you recognize those 3 groups of 10 and those 6 extra beads. 10, 20, 30 beads grouped in those 10s, and then those 6 extra beads. Very good, 36. Let's try another one. Okay, let's take a look at this number over here. And when you know how many beads, go ahead and tell me. 67? Let's check. So I see some groups of 10 down here, and then I see some extra beads. So let's count those 10s together, and then we'll think about how many extra beads we have. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then we have 7 extra beads. So you are correct. We have 67 beads. Some of those beads are grouped in 10s, and some of those beads are just our extra ones. Great. I have one more number for us to identify. And when you think you know what number that is, go ahead and tell me. 99. I'm wondering if you noticed that extra bead that I left over here and thought about 1 less than 100, because over here we have 1 less than 100. If I had all of my beads on my bead rack, my 10 groups of 10, we would have 100, but I left 1 bead behind. So we have 9 groups of 10 and we have 9 extra ones. Okay, let's move on. We are going to take a look at this number here. Go ahead and tell me the number that you see. 17, very good. 10 and 7, okay? And we are going to practice 10 more than a number. So in your head, I want you to picture me moving a group of 10 beads. And when you think you can identify 10 more than 17, go ahead and tell me the number you're thinking of. 27. Let's see. 10 more on our bead rack would look like this. And now we have 2 groups of 10 and 7 extra ones. So we do, in fact, have 27. Very good job. I'm going to build another number. Okay, let's think about the number that we see here. Okay, and I want you to think about 10 more than this number. Okay, so I want you to imagine me moving a group of 10 beads, and when you think you know how many, go ahead and tell me. Did I hear 59? Ooh, I also heard 69. Well, if I think about 10 more than the number I started with, this is what 10 more would look like. Okay, so now let's count our beads and think about if we have 59 or 69 beads. So I'm going to count my 10s first. We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 beads grouped in those 6 10s. And then I have 9 extra beads. So we do have 69 beads. Very good. If you said 59, maybe you were just thinking about the number I showed you first. Here's my next number. Okay, so this is the number that we are going to start with, but this time, instead of thinking about 10 more, I want our brains to think about what 10 less would look like. So here's the number I'm starting with, and in your heads, I want you to imagine 10 less. When you think you know that number, go ahead and tell me. 24. Well, let's check. We're starting with our 3 groups of 10 with 30 beads inside and those 4 extra ones. So we see 34 to start. If I want us to think about 10 less, this is what 10 less would look like. I'm removing a group of 10, and now I only have 2 groups of 10 and those 4 extra beads. So I do have 24 left. Excellent. Let's practice another number, and we'll think about 10 less again. Okay, so here's the number we're starting with, and in your heads, I want you to imagine me moving 10 beads. Okay, we're removing 10 beads for 10 less, similar to subtracting 10 from this number. When you think you know 10 less, tell me the number that you're thinking about. Did I hear 58? Well, let's see. What number are we starting with? I see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 beads grouped in those 6 tens, and I see 8 extra ones. So if I wanted to remove 10 or think about 10 less, this is what it would look like. Whoops, those 2 wanted to come with. Okay, and now we are left with only 5 groups of 10 with 50 beads and those 8 extra ones. So 10 less than 68 is 58. Thanks for joining me today, first grade. Awesome work with our 100 bead rack. And for more practice using the 100 bead rack and our other visual tools like this, remember you can always go on Dreambox to practice. Bye for now.